Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So we will be starting in a short while.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, girls. Good morning, all of you. Good morning to all present here, and welcome for joining us in today's awareness session on startup and its challenges. So before starting, I would like some girls to please switch on their videos as on the demand of our presenter, today's presenter. Please switch on the videos. Yes, girls, you are requested to switch on your videos. All girls are requested to switch on their videos. Nice to see our girls. Yes, others also. Yeah, now it likes literally like a virtual webinar. Thank you, girls. So once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome for joining us in today's awareness session on startup and its challenges. This session is being organized by Institution's Innovation Cell 3.0 in collaboration with Startup Cell of Mehar Chand Mahajan DAV College for Women in order to encourage creativity and innovative skills among our students. I am Dr. Manpreet Kaur, and on behalf of our respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Nisha Bhargava, President of IIC, Dr. Indu Arora, Vice President IIC, and Dr. Neetu, Convener IIC, I really feel honored to welcome and introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Paramdeep Singh Anand, who is a CEO of Field Assist, which is India's leading B2B sales automation platform. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Manpreet. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's our pleasure to have you here today. So just a brief introduction. He's a graduate in mechanical engineering from Vellore Institute of Technology. He founded Param Health Foods in 2006 when he was in his final year of mechanical engineering. He bagged laurels and appreciation for the initiative, and he was the first student graduate incubate of Technology Business Incubator at VIT University. Aspiring to reach new heights with every experience, he intends to leave no stone unturned. हौसले बुलंद कर रास्तों पे चल दे, तुझे तेरा मुकाम मिल ही जाएगा. हौसले बुलंद कर रास्तों पे चल दे, तुझे तेरा मुकाम मिल ही जाएगा. अकेला तू पहल तो कर, काफिला खुद ही बन जाएगा. उन्होंने अकेले पहल करी और आज उनकी कंपनी के साथ हजारों लोग जुड़े हैं. So not taking much time now, I would like to request Mr. Paramdeep Singh to please take over the session. Yes, sir, the session is all yours now. Now you can start with the awareness session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manpreet, and I'm overwhelmed with your introduction. Very generous. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Lovely to be here on Monday morning. Okay, I hope that most of the students also would be looking forward to this session. But I understand generally we are at work from home, and the students are all at home. I'll see to it that this session you may get some takeaways, so that if there's anything which can be useful to you, I'll be very happy to see this as a successful session. Moreover, by the way, let me tell you a bit about myself. I'm a Chandigarhian at heart. Okay, I was born and brought up in Mohali, but my whole education has been in Chandigarh. Since my +2, and I owe a lot to MCM. Okay, because my wife is from MCM. Okay, and she has been more than a supporting pillar. I'll say she has been a partner in crime so far. Okay, so I have a lot of gratitude for what she is, and I think the credit goes to MCM. Okay, so it's my honor to be addressing students at MCM today. Okay,
it's our pleasure to, sir.
Okay, so I'll keep this more interactive, and I hope that people, all of you girls, can just type on the chat yes, no kind of an answer. That should be good enough, I think, rather than we have a short period of time. So how many of you right now are in any journey of a startup, or any thought has come to you that, okay, this is, I'm looking at a very short term in executing something? You can just type yes, no, so that I can have a fair idea. And or you can also mention that if you are having a plan that let's say another 1 year I want to do a startup, and it's absolutely fine also if you have a plan 5 years down the line. That's absolutely no obligation that you have to do it, but I just wanted to have an idea, like, where are you at the stage? Just a glimpse will help. You can just type yes, no. Are you looking at startup? That's it. Today, 3 months down the line, 1 year down the line. You can type yes, no. No, that's absolutely fine.
Yes, girls, please come forward to make this session interactive.
Yeah, answers are flowing. Thanks for the answers. Keep flowing it. Another 30 seconds. Okay. So what I'm getting is a fair idea. It's like yes, no, yes, no. It's like 50-50. Yeah. Let me take it from that as a data input. Okay. So like both ways. Like I really and are the girls from the final year, ma'am, or they are from the third year, or all the years? Like, how's the composition?
So they are from all the years.
Oh, all the years. And what all branches? Like what all streams are there?
Commerce, computers,
Okay.
from
Okay.
all the streams. Like
Interesting.
there, I can see final year students also here, most of them.
Okay. Okay. And if some of you would like to, just mention one word, what is that one word or one line? What is that your expectation out of this session, or what came to your mind? I know some of you would have been asked to do, attend it. That's obvious. I have been on that side of the college while a student, teachers used to ask me. But even then, since we are investing an hour's time, is there something in your mind which you want to have it could be a good story you want to listen. Okay, that's absolutely fine. But is there something you are looking for a startup? Anything you want to have a takeaway or expectations? Just type it so that I'll take it through that way, because I'm not structuring it in a format where I have some set agenda. Okay, I do have some ideas, but I have some set agenda. But we'll go it with the flow. That's what my idea is. So anything you want to type that, okay, if you are not interested in doing a startup but still you are here, so what is that your expectation? What are you here for? And also who have an idea or who wants to start up, what's your expectation? Just a couple of words you can type. Yeah. Okay, that's nice. What are the key points for starting the startup? Anybody else? Or you can be very casual also. Doesn't matter. It's your time. How do you want to make maximum out of it? It's up to you. You want some entertainment also, that can be done. That's not an issue. Event planning and blogging. Okay, Hermanjo. Yeah. Few more seconds. Let me wait and then I'll kick off. Okay. Okay. I think as for now, that would be enough. And so right now on my screen, if you are seeing, I have presented something. Here is a truth. Okay. Now, what is that truth? And once you see this truth, let me have your reactions, immediate reactions. What comes up in your mind, a one word kind of a thing, irrespective whether you want to start up now or later, or you don't want to start up at all, doesn't matter. Okay, but just this is a one fact which I wanted to present before I begin, my journey, and we can share more ideas. So this is what the truth says. It says about that 80% of entrepreneurs starting a business fail within the first 18 months. It talks about 50% of startups fail after operating for 4 years. 66% of small businesses will fail within 10 years, and so on and so forth. And these are all the data which I have collated from the internet and various credible sources. Now, what does this mean? What thought comes to your mind when you see these data popping up on your screen? Immediately, you can type anything what comes in your mind. And we are talking about startups here. We're talking about starting up ideas. But here's a screen which is telling you that the facts and figures where the entrepreneurs are failing. What is the percentage? Quickly, let's whatever comes to your mind. One word. Is it scary? Is it encouraging? Is it confusing, motivating? What comes to your mind? Some of you might be looking at, okay, we are looking at this. We came to get motivated, but Param is showing some data which might not be very motivating. Okay. Is anything coming up in your mind? Ma'am, anything props up in your mind? Yeah, Dr. Manpreet, anything from your side? What?
Sir, like lot of risk we may face.
Yeah, okay, that's absolutely
in order
right.
to survive.
Yeah. Any of the other faculty members who want to contribute or want to just unmute and say something?
So this is Manmeet Kaur.
Yeah.
In my opinion, we first of all need to understand what the risk is. Only then we can understand what risk we are going to take further for any type of startup, because we need to be clear in our terms or definition what the risk exactly is. That's what I understand.
Okay. Thank you. So let me give you an idea, like why did I started with this? So today, the whole country, especially India, is in a phase where the startup boom has come up in the last, 10 years or so. That's why I think MCM organizing also such more frequent webinars, because we want to make people aware what are startups. And we are finding, like, last 10 days, we have got 6 unicorns out of India, big unicorns. Last 3 years, last 4 years, the rise of Ubers or Swiggy's or Zomato's or Razor Pays, then a lot is happening. Tesla, then right now, today, the top 10 companies in the world are not those 10 companies who used to be there 10 years back. Today, it is Amazon, Microsoft, Apple. It used not be there like that. Most of the very legacy kind of a businesses used to be there. In the top 500 companies or top 10 companies in the world, I'm talking about. Now, if you see the data, it's totally uh, change scenario. Airbnb, OYOs in India. Now, those kind of companies has taken up their place in the market within no time. So that's what the startup has been a kind of a lot of charm in itself, where people are encouraged to do more and more startup. And definitely these numbers, what I'm projecting, it's not about demotivating anybody. It's basically, as ma'am said, about the risk, but it's about being aware what not to do, certain points, so that you do not fall in this category of not making up. And absolutely, there's no guarantee. Okay. But startups or doing a business is not about gambling. That's one point you can take it up. It's not about gambling. It's about taking a calculated risk. But more importantly, it's more about your way of life, the way you want to lead a life. Okay. And why these companies have failed, there can be hundreds of reasons. There can be reason of resources crunch. There can be reason of bad timing. There can be a reason of not having a good team, or execution is an issue. There can be plenty of issues. No, there's absolutely no single thing which can. And similarly, there are a lot of factors responsible the for the success of a startup. Only thing what we have to keep in mind is that these are the scenarios in the market. So what do we take it away from here, so that we are not blinded by just the aura of starting up, and we make certain decisions which are calculated, and we are more aware, even though we take risk. People take a lot of risk. And that's what the sense of entrepreneurship is. The more the risk, more the rewards. Okay. So it's about being more aware. And sorry if I have given these data. The idea was not to scare you out, or not to demotivate, or you. It's just that being more, as I said, data oriented, which is absolutely one of the qualities of entrepreneurs should be, and are more aware, so that do not land up in the same situation, or we call it as a graveyard. And especially this data is more important. I have been talking at IITs or IIMs, where their students are, on a lot of ideas, a lot of things to do, but they are mainly in the game of valuation. Most of the things people, it's cool to be valued at, $100 million, $1 billion. And that's absolutely good, fine. If you are keeping anything in mind of that sort, that is a success parameter, it could be one of the success parameter, but it's not the sufficient success parameter. So in that respect also, I thought, let me present this ideas and these facts, which can help you in gauging the ground reality. Okay, coming back to our topic about startup and its challenges. I'll take you through my, journey, that might help you in appreciating what kind of startup challenges, or what kind of, entrepreneur journey is. In fact, if you see success, if you figure it out as a circle, and you are on the circumference, sitting on a circumference, how many ways are there to reach the center of a circle? Infinite, right? There are infinite ways. You can reach it from, like, you can draw as many radiuses as you want, right? Same way, the idea is that there's no particular set benchmark path. We are only learning what has gone behind in the past, taking clue from there. Okay, this can be made into an algorithm, this can be made into a success formula, but there's no guarantee. Okay, and everybody's writing his or her own journey. And in fact, today when we talk about women entrepreneurship, and that's what another reason, I'm excited to be here. MCM organizing this webinar, all women. You got to know and got to read a lot of things what women are bringing on the table with their inherent personality traits, which are very conducive to entrepreneurship. So one of the very important factor which is inherent is about empathy. Just keep that in mind, the word empathy. And that is a very, very strong thing. Empathy with your market, with your customer, that empathizing thing. It comes naturally with the woman part, but very, very necessary. So that this can be capitalized, very, very necessary for any entrepreneur. Irrespective of gender, any entrepreneur, it's very important, but it comes naturally, and that's why women are succeeding quite good in this entrepreneurship journey. And entrepreneurship also, people who have mentioned about not looking to start up today, okay, but maybe later, or may not be at all. Absolutely fine. Entrepreneurship is not just something only for those who want to have their own businesses. Please note this fact. I'm hoping that you're all keeping a pen and paper. You're at home. Anything which strikes you, any word, any idea strikes you, please note it down. It might be a good investment for you for the next 40-45 minutes. So I was talking about this, empathy part. Just make a note of it. Second, I was talking about that it need not be that this webinar, what we are doing, whether you want to do entrepreneurship or you don't want to do entrepreneurship. Today in corporate world as well, when you're going for a job, when you're going to, of course, I think, or whether you want to do a whatever job commonly, if not entrepreneurship, the qualities of entrepreneurs are like life skills. They're always being admired. Always being admired. So whether you're an institution, even if you want to go and become a professor, lecturer in a college, the qualities of an entrepreneur are always admired. The qualities are what? That your risk-taking ability, you're working in the team, you're working on your ideas, you're execution oriented, okay, and you are bold. You challenge the status quo, okay. So don't keep this only as a something that okay, it's not for me because it's all about business starting and I'm not interested. Mind it, you are not going to be secluded. Such things you would have to do if you have to survive well in your career, in your job journey as well. Okay, it's just a matter of that you may not have, you may not need a lot of resources. What an entrepreneur does need, like money and other team building and all, but still, the 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 basics of trades you'll find very much common. And I'll also tell you like how do people start up. So a lot of people actually are in the jobs and then they start up, okay, because they have that kind of a trade. So just keep that in mind. Talking about myself, as I was introduced, so this is my university, okay, Vellore Institute of Technology. I did my BTech in mechanical engineering. I was quite a passionate about doing an engineering stuff since my, I had decided like by 7th or 8th standard that I had to be a mechanical engineer, okay, and but I'm a student of TV college. I did my +1, +2 from there. And Sector 36, again, I can't forget because a lot of coaching institutes were there in Sector 36 and I used to be there throughout the day. Science, maths, and physics, a lot of things. So I used to come by cycle from my home, like Mohali, it's not that far away, but to go to the DAV college and then coming back, being in the coaching. So 36 is the center place of this thing, Chandigarh, and also my early schools were there from Sector 36, Satluj Public School. Okay, so this is my university. When I went about 2,000 kilometers away from Chandigarh, purposely, even though I got admission in Peck and Thapar, but I choose to go because this university actually was a kind of a startup, not very famous at that time, 2002, but now it's quite a breeding ground for startups and engineers. So I got an idea in my third year closing. I landed up in a job which was with an MNC, and since my second year, I was quite active in the entrepreneurship cell and of EIT. And from second year onwards, I was quite participative in arranging the knowledge session, also reading a lot. And I remember once Dr. Kalam came for our seniors convocation, and I'm talking about 2003, 2004 somewhere. And Dr. Kalam was mentioning about that how India needs more of job creators, at that time. So we're talking about 17 years back. That time startups was not heard of. When I did startup, this in my pre-final year, the word startup was not there in the Indian scenario. And he was the one who actually, kind of inspired also that, okay, can students become an entrepreneurs? And by the way, I also come from a family of a business family, and my dad is an entrepreneur, and he's based out of Chandigarh. Been 30 years, he has developed a fantastic business, and so that was also kind of, you can say, in the genes that okay, this used to excited me. But the idea was, okay, can there be a student entrepreneur? So this was a challenge, and I came up with an idea of developing a fruit drink, which was a ginger-based fruit drink, first of its kind in India, which used to be on natural sweetener rather than your sugar. And did a lot of research. I did a tie up with. So I did two engineering projects in my final year, which was one is mechanical and one was chemical. Both of them were merged together so that I could work on my idea in my final year itself. And the chancellor of the university and the vice chancellor of the university, they told me that, okay, you have 1 year, can you bring out a commerciable, feasible project plan so that once you are just out of college, you can just begin. Okay. And like that, the journey continued. And this was the Param Health Foods idea. I was quite obsessed with the consumerism rising and the drinking pattern of fruit beverages in the country. Out of hundreds of ideas, I just chose it. after deliberation in the food and beverages sector. And I had this is the first lot of drinks which I prepared. And this is, by the way, in Punjab Agriculture University. This is in PAU. We did a tie-up for the technology transfer from that. Okay. And this was the product. Okay. This was the product which was launched in the market. And I'm Fresh was the name. So generally people do ask me, or I do also ask some people, what does I'm Fresh resonates with you? So I'm Fresh is something for a food product. It is like bottle or the package saying that I'm fresh, so you can consume me. Okay, it will be like fresh, healthy, kind of that idea it gives. But let me tell you the story behind it. Why did I named my product I'm Fresh? Primarily because I was fresh. I was a fresher. So Param was a fresher just out of college and wanted to do a startup, wanted to take the risk of entrepreneurship. So it was primarily I am a fresher. I don't have any background in anything like connections in the corporates or access to a lot of resources. I'm just a student, just like you, And mind it, today, the kind of excess of information and the resources you have, and in fact, Chandigarh also has produced fantastic startups like Jugnu, and there are more accelerators as well. Now, in that context, I think we are at a very, very lucky stage in India, and the world is looking at India because of our working age population and then the kind of billion of consumers we have. We can do a lot of things with the right test market. So this was the idea that I'm Fresh was born. Okay, and this is how I continued for next 7 years on this journey for producing and marketing these food beverages. Okay. And so this is another first thing, there's no inhibition should come in your mind. You can get this as a takeaway that as a student, can you start up? Absolutely, you can start up. Of course, we had some resources to set up the plant. I had to take a loan also. And today the loan is collateral free, quite available. The VCs are there. It's your idea which gets more of weightage. But you have to keep one thing in mind, you may note it down, that whoever you may be, whether you are a son of a businessman, whether you are a Harvard pass out, whether you're IITian, whether you're from MCM, whatever credentials you may have, okay, whatever knowledge you may have captured before starting up your idea, however good you may be in making presentations, you could be very intelligent, but just keep one thing in mind, that market is ruthless. Okay, market is ruthless. When I say market is ruthless, market doesn't care about who you are, from where you have come, what you have. It just cares about one and only one thing. Are you a problem solver? Are you solving my problem? If you're solving my problem in a way that it gives me a value, then I'm going to pay you and buy your product or services. Please keep this very much in mind. That's what I'm saying. It's very important. And that's the reason, one of the reasons why so many people fail, because they are in love with their idea. And they say, ye to hona hi hai. We'll talk more about it. Ye to hona hi hai. Okay, this is going to happen. Absolutely. So one thing which I did in my university, and since we are talking about the college environment, that the test marketing, VIT had 10,000 students at that time. I used to make a lot of samples and a lot of variation of tastes of the drinks, and used to distribute to my friends to have a sample survey. How is this tasting? How is this, what cost if I'm giving you at, let's say, 10 rupees for 200, are you ready to pay? Now that becomes a fantastic test market, okay, for you. And I tell you, as a student, if you want to start up, or you get a lot of privileges free of cost. Once you are out of your student life, you are just like so many people who are either in the looking for a job or want to start up, but there are privileges being a student. I tell you, for this journey, I'm from a mechanical engineering background. I don't have a food processing technology as my study. But I was quite enticed by this product, that okay, this is a market of people who would like to have an alternative to soft drinks, but at a price which they are able to buy this in a quantity, not like that time used to be juices with the real, which are very costly. And I got up with this idea, and this idea did not come once. The product what you're seeing right now, it came after 2 years of starting up, and the whole market taught me a lot. So there was a constant juggling, like what will work and what will not work, and actually this came up. But as I told you, that you have to look at what is that you are solving the problem of people. So it could be a cost related issue, it could be a service related issue, it could be anything which has not been there for them, convenience related, whatever. But if you are looking at your customer from that angle, and the test bed, as I said, you have a privilege as a student. Your teachers, you can get free access to a lot of gyan, okay, and do make best use out of it. If I go, let's say for this, if this idea was in my mind and I had gone to which I applied, let's say fruity plant. The fruity plant was nearby Chennai, because Vellore is nearby Chennai, and on the Vellore Chennai highway there's a huge mango fruity plant. And since I do not come from that background of food technology and it was not there in the VIT, I wanted to study, I wanted to learn how these food beverages are getting manufactured. Now I wrote the letter to the general manager of the plant through my HOD with his reference, that as a student I want to do a 2 months of project over there to understand how the facility layout planning is, because that's part of my mechanical engineering project. Now imagine if I had passed out of college and then I had written to this gentleman, the general manager. I had no chance, like literally very less chance to be inside a food processing plant. And it's a very strict area. They don't allow outsiders. They have to maintain the hygiene standards. They do not want people to unnecessarily come in and peek into it. So that's the scenario. As a student, I leveraged it, and I leveraged it a lot. I tell you, even for getting samples free from Thailand, from Indonesia, about the benchmarks or the products I used to see on the internet. I used to really get a lot of free samples, because I used to say, see, hey, I'm a student and I'm looking forward to be an entrepreneur. Okay. And please help me. I don't have, of course, the money, but I have the will. Please help me. People used to pour in a lot. People used to say a lot of things. And that's what, similarly, a lot of other places, I took this advantage. I in fact, abused this advantage to the fact. And that's what, entrepreneurs are there. And you don't have resources, you create resources. Like that, you could be in a very good position, and you might not be looking at from that angle. See, Facebook, how did it start? It started in a college campus, right? So people around you, look at each other, your friends, your not so good friends, your far related friends, faculty members, their families, okay? Do understand that this is a free test market for you to test your idea and get a genuine feedbacks, before you venture out. People spend millions on market research. Okay. You can get it, your alumni, get in contact with them. So these kind of things, please keep in mind. Your next company co-founder could be sitting, right across you in your college bench seat. Think from that angle, Okay. So that was a food for thought, that you are quite a privileged. Students are very privileged. And if you see a lot of people who are from the batchmates, they start, they co-found the companies together, become partners. Flipkart is another example. Both the founders are from the same batch, and they created history. So like that, there are plenty. Even in this company, other three of my co-founders, they're all batchmates. They are from IIT Dhanbad, and plenty of such examples. Okay. Moving forward, okay, entrepreneurs, or I don't forget this guy. This guy is from Ludhiana, and there's a market in Ludhiana, Kumar Mandi. Okay, Now, this was the first guy who, from Punjab University, I used to manufacture the products. And that time there was some festival time was going on in August. And when I met this guy, he gave me a big order. Okay. And this guy is a source of inspiration for me. I tell you why. I have preserved this picture. Okay. Now, this guy said once to me that, your product looks good. Okay. It's fine. I want 50 packs of it. The 50 packs of it, 12 bottle is a one pack. And if you see behind this, I'm fresh written, that's the placement. And I was quite thrilled. Okay. This is one of the first sale of my, venture, though it was practically not a sale. I tell you why, because he didn't pay me upfront, but it was a one-way transaction that I placed the products at his shop. And I was quite thrilled. Okay, first day of my marketing and sales in the Ludhiana, and I got this order. Now, this guy reminded me of few fundamentals of doing business. Okay, first of all, do not take your customer as granted, and that okay, he likes my product, so he's definitely going to pay me. Eventually, what happened? He didn't pay me at all. Okay, so that was a bad debtor, case where I did not get my money from him even after chasing after 2 months, because that was the market which I studied, and I learned my first lesson also. Do the business in cash in advance, because this guy never, even today, never paid me. He okay, and he used to make a lot of excuses and a lot of things. Your product is not doing good, and this and that. Your products are getting returned, and even he sold certain things, but he was a bad paymaster. The idea which I want you to look at it is that it's very important when we go in the market, we love our idea and we make a product or a service out of it. People will love, your friends will love it, your family members will love it, your teachers will love it, because they will feel that okay, this is my student or my friend or my son, daughter who's doing this now. Absolutely fantastic. But as a businessman or as an entrepreneur, you need to ask your friend. For example, I used to ask my friend, oh, this is a drink I have made, and they say, wow, Param, very good, you'll succeed a lot, and this and that. End of the conversation, I used to ask, okay, how much are you ready to pay for it? And then the actual conversation starts, because they say, nahi, itna acha bhi nahi hai. I said, no, pay me 50 rupees for this. Oh, no, Param, I can't pay. I don't have pocket money. And itna bhi acha nahi hai, yaar, le ja. Okay. This is a very key thing, because in entrepreneurship, when there's an exchange of product, it's a two-way thing. The value you are giving, you need to extract that value from the customer. The customer will only pay what he or she thinks this is the value of your product. You might be overvaluing your product, and you might go and curse out your market also. And nobody looks at my idea. Nobody cares about my idea. Nobody's looking at it, how hardworking I am, how much it takes. I used to get frustrated. I actually blasted at this guy. I blasted this guy. You don't know that, how much it takes to go in the mandis in the early morning, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., get the lychee fresh, squeeze it in the pulper, homogenize it, pasteurize it, bottled it. So much of hard work it goes behind it. And the quality I'm bringing, you are not appreciating, you are a jerk. You don't appreciate, you don't understand. And you're simply saying that because you don't want to pay, you're saying the quality is not good enough. So that kind of mindset does not work, because as I said, the market is ruthless. The market will pay for you. I'm not counting this because this was kind of a bad paymaster, but generally you have to get the value. You have to be in touch with the customer and do a two-way transaction. Don't do it just for the sake of that this will going to flourish. In fact, a lot of ideas today, they are getting venture backed by millions of dollars. But you see, VC also have a formula. They don't bet on every of their startup. They know that not all startups are going to be successful. Even if 9 out of 10 goes into trash, one can make them enough money. But why? Because the market, it's not what you think in your head it is. So you have to be in the very good market research and understand the empathy, which I told over. The empathy is like being in the other person's shoes. why this person will pay me this much for this service. You have to have the harsh reality faced, facts faced. Don't get blindsided with your own, just a fascination about it. Okay. Let me talk about this company, Field Assist. Now, this is a company which I started in 2014 with my friends, and that, how did I met them? It was again, we'll come back to, it was a college connection. My professor, my mentor in VIT knew somebody in IIM Ahmedabad who was heading incubating cell. And then when I told him that I'm here in Gurgaon, now shifted from Mohali, sold the company, and I want to do something in technology. I'm looking for more exposure in technology, and that's how the connection worked. And I went and met that person, uh, Pranay, and Pranay introduced me to my current, co-founders, and he said that okay, these guys are working on something, and yeah, can you just see to it? Is there any synergies between you both? And I said, I met, and we started, and they're already on a journey. So this is a Gurgaon based company startup. We are into Salesforce automation. Now, Salesforce automation in your vicinity, if you see any company like Haldirams or Everest Spices or Distillery in your neighborhood, there's a Rama bookstore, right? In the MCM college, I remember that we used to borrow a lot of books. And besides that, there are so many confectionery shops. I used to have my lot of snacks or patties there because lunch ka time nahi milta tha, coaching and all mein. So I used to grab them a lot of such snacks. Now these people, these type of shops, they are kirana stores, mom and pop stores, and these stores are getting served by a lot of FMCG companies. Now the FMCG companies, salespeople, they carry a mobile application of Field Assist. This is that application that they record all their activities over there. Okay? They record all their activities over there. And from their attendances to the stock taking, to the order booking, to the transactions they are doing, to the competition survey, to the market survey, branding survey, complaints, whatever you may think of. It's a huge data which gets available in real time to the market leaders, like top management, so that they are able to manage their team throughout in the field. Let's say even the 10 salespeople or 50 salespeople or 5,000 salespeople. So this is the product what we build. Now straight away, another thing, I was into mechanical engineering. I ventured out in food processing, and food processing not at the back end but at the front end also, because I was marketing the product also. I was producing it and marketing as well. Okay. And then coming from that to this, which is a technology venture. Okay. There we have a team of coders. We have a team of customer success managers. We have a team of digital marketers. Okay. And product managers. And all these people, all of my team members, they're creating a mobile application product. They have created and we keep on revising it. Today we are about 400 plus customers in India, what we have. And all the names you see over, all the big names in FMCGs or consumer good durable, they're all our clients. And this all came up just in a matter of 5 years, last 5 years, from 2014 when I joined with one single customer we had to now 400 and plus customers, about 60,000 salespeople. They are using our product as you and me are talking in the market, and they are using this product. And for all their sales reports, incentives, decision making, and market information gathering, everything is happening through Field Assist application. It's pretty interesting. I think you people, whether you are from commerce or computer science, whichever branch, do get involved yourself in understanding the impact of technology in businesses around you. It is going to be immense value, because whether you're going for a job or a business doesn't matter, but the ability to use the tools and to know the idea. And it's not about that you have to have a coding background or you want to get deep into the technology, but the very basic idea of what artificial intelligence or what machine learning does, what is the mobile app technology, what kind of products are available in the market, just a fair idea of it, you will be able to implement a lot of things in your company wherever you are joining Okay, give a lot of ideas, CRM systems or payment automation systems or supply chain automation systems. There are plenty of it, and all of them. So I'm not getting deep into the SaaS part of it. SaaS is a software as a service. Uh, that's the platform is on cloud computing. That's what our business model is. Plenty of companies are there on SaaS in India. We can do a session maybe sometime other on this. The opportunities in SaaS for all of you. Okay, but today it's important that please note it, that be very active in understanding that how the simple Uber app, that's also a technology, uh, how they are able to solve biggest problems in the country or wherever in the world, simply with the Airbnb also. And like that, just be very much aware, uh, be on the top of the news, be on the top of the new startups, subscribe to yourstory.com. You'll get plenty of ideas, and you'll feel that okay, this is not something, I think everybody should do entrepreneurship, not for the sake of just making money, but for the sake of learning a lot. And entrepreneurship can be practiced within your own companies, wherever you're going to join, in a small cell, let's say 2 people 3 people team, exhibit it, like take the ownership of profit and loss, make even 1 rupee profit. That's good enough, because the whole process will make you very very analytical in mind, make you very logical, and make you very curious to challenge how this company, how my company where you're getting a job is, how my company is making money, what is the business model, what services are they providing. If you keep that lens in mind, you will figure it out. Oh, this is a different it's not a very different ball game. The people who have done it, see, I'm quite relatable to you. It's not something what I have done is something remarkably out of the way, that I'm not an alien. I say I'm right there. I was in Chandigarh, uh, just there, and whatever has been happening, there are a lot of factors behind it, but it is possible. Mechanical engineering, food processor engineering, or the startup, and then to IT startup, and then being a CEO of IT company. Okay, this is the message which I wanted to give to you. Now, uh, talking more about when people start, the kind of challenges what they feel, or what the kind of journey they go through. How do they bump onto the idea? So, for example, this lady, uh, they said that the inspiration to start Fat Merchant, a subscription membership payment processing company, came when she took the idea to her former employees, and they laughed at her. Okay, somebody was suffering from bad addict, and they said this guy, and he was not able to find a solution. And so he said, okay, let me come up with this by myself. As a customer, I was very angry. This is another instance or inspiration that okay, I'm not getting a service. Have you heard of this brand Mama Earth? Mama Earth is right now a 700 crore company. The Mama Earth products are all baby products. Nobody would have heard about them in 2018, but today they are in the Forbes, and by the way, they are our kids also. So we know the story very closely. They, as a parent, were not able to get uh, chemical-free products like shampoos or moisturizer for the babies. And there's a huge opportunity. There are many parents like us. They just asked, they studied, or whatever they could get it from the connection. There are many parents who are not getting this product. They got into it. Okay, and they have, it's a beautiful product what they have made. My whole family, in fact, uses now. They have ventured into the adults range also. But this was one of the idea which came to their mind. Okay, let's do this. There are no organic, chemical-free products in the market for babies, and that's how they launched it. And they got backed by a VC, of course. But this is how I'm saying that how the ideas strike. And somebody may have that I'm looking for own freedom. That's I said the way of life. How you can be starting up, it's a way of life of doing things. But primarily understand that if you're not a problem solver, if you're not solving a problem for your market, then just entrepreneurship for the sake of even I want to be my own boss. That can be the outcome of it, derivative of it, but not cannot be uh, the prime reason that you want to be your own boss. So market is not going to pay for that. Okay. Just keep that in mind. So you have to be grounded on that angle, and anything can strike you, anything, anywhere in the mind. Look at this quote, and when you say Anderson and Sons, they say, eventually I'm assuming, I mean, it only makes sense, right? That's where you get delusioned by your big idea, what you have, because it's your idea. People don't even share it because they say that it might get copied. Somebody can take my idea. I'll tell you, Baba, that's anything today. There are 99.99% chance that anything what you're conceiving today, right now, as a next big idea to change the world, please keep it in mind. It would have already been there in the world with somebody, maybe in some remote country, or somebody might have executed it. So today's, ideas are no one's monopoly. Okay, huge, you know, uh, there's a huge number of ideas which are floating in the market because people believe they can do it, and that's actually a good thing. Also, it's not that it's not a good thing. It's a good thing. You are encouraged. That's not the case in the previous generation. If you talk to your parents, most of them might not be looking at the way you would be looking at today, because your basic needs are getting taken very well taken care of. Education, security, those needs, basic things might not have been there with your parents, but they have given this platform. It's actually becomes your duty. To that extent, I'll still tell you, it becomes your duty uh, not to get comfortable with these things. You have to make it large, and that's the only way to grow. And India is a market where you can really grow because of the experimentation, the cost of launching the products, the cost of doing market research, the cost of uh, doing a lot of operations can be taken care in a very small jugaad way. Okay, and that's why MNCs are looking at India from that angle as well. That how India is able to produce such a low cost things. Uh, so do take advantage of it. That's what I was looking at. Do take advantage of it. The idea what I was looking at is your idea. Is it a vitamin or a painkiller? Something your target consumer should buy, something your target consumer will buy. This is another, the focus I'm right now making up in the startup and the challenges is your idea validation right now. How do you validate your idea? So most of the things, because here itself, a lot of things go, haywire. And of course, the startup and its challenges could be huge because it's a huge topic. I even have a journey of 15 years. Of course, packing it up in 45 minutes can be quite a challenge. Okay. But I'm focusing right now on the idea validation. So what do you mean by this? Is your idea innovation vitamin or painkiller? For example, let's say you are selling, let's say the market of sports drinks in India. Okay. If you'd gone to, because I come from the beverage industry, if you're gone to 15 years back or even 10 years back, the idea of, okay, I'll give you another example. Have you heard of paper boat? Paper boat juices, jamun, kala khatta, golgappe ka pani. It's a very famous brand recall. Very, very great brand strategy. They have clicked in recalling the memories of childhood. But if you see that, when the product was launched in 2010 or 11, it created a huge, attention to them, and people like Narayan Murthy invested in this product. And till today, this product has not been profitable. Till today, they have not been profitable. Till today, they have, they're bad losses. But their product quality is very good. Packaging is super, one of its kind in India when they introduced it. No, cost-wise also, it was a bit pricey, but still manageable. But what happened? The kind of products, the kala khatta or the ampani or shikanji or such products, what they were offering to the masses, particularly in tier one cities. Now, there in those tier one cities, basically the people who wanted to drink, they were opting it for once, twice, that's it, because of the taste. But it was not something as a painkiller that people are dying to buy it, because outside tier 1 cities, tier 2, tier 3, in Chandigarh itself, let's say a lot of fresh juice market is available. People make shikanjuis or such golgappe ka pani, or it's very much available in the street food. And of course, that cost cannot justify, packaged drink cost by the any roadside vendor. And you get it, you have the feeling that it's a fresh also. Now there itself, the thing, the one of the idea, and they have actually pivoted today. They have pivoted to a run of the mill. They are making a fruity kind of product as well in the same uh, pouch and same price point. But this is very important to understand your market. Your market paying capacity, your purchasing capacity of the market. Are you in? If it is a painkiller. So for another very interesting example, if you are in a uh, pain of let's say there's some pain in your legs, okay, or you want to take a painkiller instantaneously and you say get rid me of this, but in actually what you need is you are lacking in the vitamin D. So that's the vitamin you need, and you need it for the continuous thing, continuous period, so that you can uh, basically do not get into that pain again. But what people pay for, vitamin is costly, painkiller is cheap. So people go for a painkiller, and there are companies who make vitamins. But it's not any comparison that you should only make painkillers or you should not make vitamin. It's not like that. It's about understanding who's my targeted customer. Is he willing to pay? So for one particular set of customer, let's say the affluent, people who can afford vitamins, for them it could be that this is very urgent, this is very important. I realize the importance. It could be painkiller for them. Okay, and but may not be for the many of the companies. Many of the consumers. So this differentiation really helps. Okay, keep that in mind. It will really not throw surprises at you later on. You might say my product cost is let's say 1,000 rupees, but you say okay, people are not buying it because it may not be immediately solving any pain to them. It may be good to have, but it may not be must to have. So you have to categorize your product and be okay with that. I'm not saying that if people you should not look into, let's say, luxury products. They have their own market, luxury products or the luxury cars. And there's a market of Maruti 800 also. Today itself, Maruti has a share of 51%, right? Their whole advertisement was what? It was on a pain of saving fuels. Fuel cost was rising. So they say, kitna deti hai? 1 liter mein kitna deti hai? Now, in Europe, nobody asks on that. Or America, nobody asks like that. But in India, so what's your target market? It's very important to empathize with that market. Again, the word empathize, I'm putting a lot in my talk. Okay, let's move on. But I've been talking about idea a lot. Okay, and but is this enough? So the famous quote from Dhirubhai Ambani was, think big, think fast, think ahead. Ideas are no one's monopoly. Ideas are no one's monopoly. ये आइडिया आपको भी आ सकता है, या आपके किसी दोस्त को भी आ सकता है, आपके किसी not so good friend को भी आ सकता है. Idea, don't get attached to that idea alone. That is not enough. What do you need to do is getting into, action. Getting into action. See, I give you one example here. This is, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the problem statement was for a company or for somebody to transport the goods from point A to point B. What do you need to do? From point A to point B, you need to transport a good. You need a vehicle. You need such a vehicle which is good enough in, as depicted in figure 1. You don't need a vehicle as depicted in figure 4 to kick off your idea. So what I'm trying to say is that once you are getting into an idea mode, it's very important to execute it as fast as possible with minimum resources possible. What is, we call it as an MVP, minimum viable product. It's known as MVP. It's a term in startup lingo. You don't have to do everything, perfect to make this car as it is in the figure 4 to launch it in the market. You can do it with the 1. Now, once you're at a one stage, you're doing a basic problem solving. Or this goods needs to be transferred from here to here. You might be able to keep the cost low, time to market fast. Time to market is very important. And then you keep on adding and reiterating. And, people might say, okay, this car is good, but can it have something like what's in figure two? And then people say, okay, I want a more sitting space also, not just driver and the, another passenger, but more sitting space. So three, and I want it more to be, open space. And four, and this is how you go. Generally, entrepreneurs tend to have an idea which they said, okay, I have to be like four, only then I can launch. It's your idea. That's why you are conceiving to be that way. But it need not be like that. It is your strategy in your mind, may not be the thing what customer is looking for. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So idea again is to be fail fast. For example, at stage one, if you are invested, let's say 1 lakh rupees, but for the stage four, you might have to invest 10 lakh rupees. But if you had gone with the 10 lakh rupees and then failed, it would have been a blunder as compared to you launched a product with 1 lakh rupees and failed. Because failure is going to happen. That's eventually the thing you have to keep in mind. But failures are not fatal. That's the key for entrepreneurship. Failures are not fatal. Okay, it's an important milestone for you to go through that failure journey. So in order to keep it fast in the market, just act quickly. So that's why I'm saying that fail fast, learn rapidly. Okay, very simple. When let's say you want to launch a lemonade, you may not want to have a fancy packing of a lemonade today. You may not want to open up a shop with the very, very hygiene conditions, very good tiling, very good infrastructure. You may not want to do it. First of all, you want to do it that I'm preparing a lemonade. What's my recipe? And I make that in a hygiene environment, just like maybe at home in a kitchen. And then I distribute it and ask for the feedback from the people that how's it tasting. And then you want to improvise later. People may say, okay, add this thing, that thing is good. People may say, I want a bulk packing, I want glass packing, I want a pet packing, I want this packing. And you keep on making. But the first thing was not that I have a complete setup in my mind and then execute it. And that's where most of the people, in terms of money, the common question you will ask people, what is stopping you to do a startup? Say, I don't have resources. I'm saving money, which is good. It's not absolutely, I'm not denying on the fact, but it cannot be the hurdle or a limiting factor. People actually don't want to do something. They do give them excuses like this, but entrepreneurs not like that. So they make arrangements. They beg, they borrow. They borrow from whom? They borrow from the family, might be. They beg from their friends and they take them as a loan. And today we are in a very fortunate situation that India has created a lot of funds by the government of India also, and the banks, and there plenty of people are opened up for the idea of startup. So that may not be a limiting factor, but the execution of it, even at a small scale, let's say in a society, if you're living in a lot of societies, that could be your test market. Again, execute it then and there, do the home delivery or something, whatever processes or whatever product services you're offering. So that's what my idea was. Now here, I'm coming on to quite an end. What will happen here overall is that phase one will be a very, very excited phase, a very, very high energy, high excitement, euphoria. Okay, I've launched this product. I have people who are paying for this. Perfect. People will be supportive enough. Okay, my son, my daughter is doing this. My friend have done this. My college is supporting. A lot of things will happen. That's very good. And this is a cycle which I want you to be aware of. The phase one is full of excitement. That's absolutely fine. But then they're bound to get you into a dip phase. That dip phase is phase two. Okay. Now this is where very important. And by the way, it is not, again, as I said, the entrepreneurship specific. Even if you get into a job, your first job, you'll be very excited, isn't it? You'll be very curious. Everything will be new. Even if you get into a new college, let's say you get into a higher studies, okay, or you go abroad, phase one will be wow, excitement, curiosity. Phase two will come in any of your life. It's like going to the depths will come. Things will not go the way you had envisioned, the way you have dreamed. The things will not go in your favor. And that's why this is bound to come. And this is a cycle. It's not going to come once. So it will be like you go like this, always. That's how the life is, sinusoidal, up and down. But what's important for you to keep in mind in that dip phase, a lot of people quit. A lot of people quit. There's no science behind or rationale behind whether the quitting is good or quitting is bad or should do, should not do. I'm not an authority on that because there are plenty of things written for both the cases. But what I'm experienced myself, I could share that the dip comes. Now, to survive the dip, it's a very famous quote by Seth Godin, which says that we know what you want to accomplish. The real question is, what are you willing to push through that dip for? What are you willing to stand up for, bleed for, commit to, and generally be unreasonable about? Because that's what's going to actually get it done. So this is true for every phase of life. Even if you're getting into a relationship, you're getting into a marriage, you're getting into excitement of getting kids, your first job, whatever, this is going to happen. The dip is going to go. You say, okay, this did not seem that hunky dory. It doesn't seem to be that the way I've seen in Bollywood movies and the way I've seen or read autobiographies of people getting from rags to riches. It's not going to be like that. Now that place, you need to know your why. Why are you getting into it? That's a very personal question. It's a very personal question. Because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own self. Now, here, if you keep this thing in mind, you are going to get through that dip phase and go to the success. Okay? So, it's a question for you. Entrepreneurship, non-entrepreneurship, startup, non-startup. See, everything is startup. Startup is right now, made synonymous to, starting a company. Okay. But I'm talking a bit more about it. So starting a company, people are doing it at the age of 60, at the age of 35, at the age of 12, at the age of 8 years, people are doing startups. Okay. So one way or the other way, you are going to be in that zone, the way we are moving. But the question of life fundamental would remain, why am I doing this? Because that will take you through that dip phase and lead you to success. And success is something everybody wants to have a sense of achievement. It's a human nature. We are here, we are not like animals. We need a sense of achievement to survive, to grow. Okay. And so keep that in mind in your startup. What is that? Why are you starting up? It could be anything, but something what you wish to cling on to. So a lot of people come to me in the last 15 years, and when they say, very, very simple example, I'll give you. One reason they might say, I want to have financial freedom. I don't want to be answerable to people. I want to be my own boss. I want to be, live my life the way I want to. I don't want to get dictated by my boss or somebody as in job. So I want to do a startup. Okay. Some people came and they are in the jobs right now, and they said, yeah, nobody cares about me in the company. Okay. My boss rejects all my ideas. He insults me, he humiliates me. I'm going to give back him a good answer. I'm going to do a startup and prove it that he was wrong. I just asked them, and number of other reasons. I just asked them, okay, in the first case, when you wanted to be your own boss, I say that, look, you might think that you are going to be your own boss when you're doing a startup. It's not the case. Your boss is going to be your customer. You are answerable to that customer for your service delivery. You can't say that, okay, I made something and I've fetched money from him. You are answerable for the service or the product quality. You are answerable to your team members, to your employees, because they are going to demand things from you. They are going to ask you, where is the company growing? Why should I work for you? That's the question I'm getting every day. People come and say, why do I work for you? So such questions will come. So don't think that alone that, by being into an entrepreneurship, you are your own boss. You do get independence, you get authority, you get choice to make decisions, you get choices better than others to make failures. But so you have a responsibility. And in the second case, which I said, when somebody says, I come to me and they're frustrated with the boss, and they say that I want to quit, I want to start up. I say, okay, give me an answer to one simple question. If tomorrow your boss gets changed, your boss gets changed, are you still going to do startup? Internal say, no, then it's fine. Okay, that's absolutely fine. This is the nice. I said, oh, so if this is the case that you are, you know, you are giving up your startup idea just because there's a change in the boss, then you're not found the real why. And I tell you, the why basically will come. The strongest why which I have heard is something you are actually solving a problem which you could relate yourself with, or you could relate with, people. For what Tesla is doing because he feels that you have to do something about earth sustainability, deeply involved, works 100 hours, 100 plus hours in a week. Elon Musk. So why they're doing this? Immense failure rate, immense failure, what he has gone through, bankruptcy also. Why they are doing it? Because they're saying, I want to solve a problem. Okay. Now the other things will follow up. Whether the problem is big enough, the market is big enough, is it a worth problem solving? Yeah, there could be a problem in your canteen right now. Okay. But is that a problem which you want to solve so that you want to be into entrepreneurship? Now you have to figure it out. It could be. It could be. You could look into it. Plenty of ideas can come. If I'm able to fix up my canteen in my college, maybe I run a franchise in hundreds of colleges. No, it could be an idea. But that will come later on. But this is what you need to figure it out first. That what problem are you solving? And last thing, I want to take it up. Don't take it personally. In startup challenges will be that people, the founders, the idea creators, they will resonate themselves with lot with their love for the idea. But the point is, don't take it personal. There's a huge amount of freedom, that comes to you when you don't take things personally. You are bound to fail. You're bound to fall. Okay, but don't take it personally, because the moment you take it personally, then it's that you have decided that you are a failure. No, your idea was a failure. Your execution style was a failure. Your team managing capabilities would have been a cause of a failure. Your understanding of the market was not good enough. That's the cause of the failure. But don't take it personally. You yourself is not the cause of the failure. You are not the failure. Okay, that's why I said earlier, failures are not fatal till you have given up. That even so many people, they are field entrepreneurs. They find a huge life skills in those journey of years when they were doing entrepreneurship, and they become very valuable to a lot of companies like us. We have employed a lot of ex entrepreneurs. They have given a tremendous value to our company. So this is one thing, you should take it up, and you need to change it around. It's our responsibility as educational institutes. It's our responsibility to teach our people on the awareness of such things. The opportunities are immense. Every one of you is going to be successful. I can write it that. Success definition can vary for each person, but this is what I can guarantee. So, are you game? Okay, are you game for a startup? And I could just, in the beginning, I could figure out 50% of you say, we want to do a startup, technically entrepreneurship, we don't want to do a startup. But as I said, startup is anything you want to kick off and starting up, anything in your life. But that would be all from my side. And I'm sorry to shoot up by another 10 minutes of this conversation, but I could not hold. I was in a flow because there's plenty of people who were listening to. So thank you, Dr. Manpreet, and I'm up for the questions, if there are any from your side.
Thank you, sir. Yes, girls. If you have any queries, any kind of questions, clarifications, anything you want to ask, you are free to ask. I think sir has given a very good example regarding startups. As he said that startup is more of a charm in itself. It's not about gambling. It's more of your way of living your life. He has given so many good examples that you need to kick off your ideas. You need to think big, act small, fail fast, learn rapidly. So I hope the girls have taken a lot from today's session. So before moving towards the vote of thanks, I will be requesting the students to please switch on your camera so that we can take a photograph, followed by the vote of thanks by Dr. Japneet Kaur. Before that, we just want a photograph to be clicked. So I request all the girls to please switch on your cameras, and those who have not filled in the attendance form, please fill in also.
So I'm giving my full name. You please be on LinkedIn. Connect me on LinkedIn. My email ID is here. You can all note it down. param@fearlesses.in. I'm always up for the interactions with the students specifically. You know why? Because I just shared my story with you. I have a special affinity towards students community. Okay. You can mail me, ping me on LinkedIn. I'll try to answer as soon as possible for you.
I hope, Manmeet ma'am, we have done with the photograph so that we can proceed towards the formal vote of thanks.
Pardon for a moment. Sir, could you please stop sharing your screen for a moment?
Sure.
And all the girls, please cooperate. Turn on your cameras so that we can have quick photographs. Just 1 second more.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manmeet ma'am. Now I would request Dr. Japneet Kaur to please extend a formal vote of thanks to our today's speaker, Mr. Paramdeep Singh Anand.
Yes, well, though we are, moving towards the afternoon still, there are a few minutes left. So good morning, everyone. As all good things come to an end in life, so is the session. On behalf of Merchant Mahajan DAV College for Women, I, Dr. Japneet Kaur, Innovation Ambassador, take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to all those who have directly or indirectly contributed to this awareness session on startup and its challenges, organized by Institutions Innovation Cell 3.0. At the outset, I thank our esteemed resource person, Mr. Paramdeep Singh Anand, for his valuable knowledge and presence, sir. And thank you so much for enlightening us for your enticing thoughts. Today, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this is definitely encouraging us in our future events. Indeed, an important takeaway from this session is that we as women can surely encash on empathy as an innate value to take advantage of an entrepreneurial opportunity. I am thankful to our respected principal and president, Institutions Innovation Cell, Dr. Nisha Bhargav, for her enthusiastic support and motivation. We also thank Dr. Indu Arora, Vice President, and Dr. Neetu, Convener, IIC, for their unflinching support and encouragement. My heartfelt thanks to our students for their patient listening and active participation. With these warm words and a kind message, we move to the end of today's session. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for the patient listening. And I'll be glad to be in touch. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe.
Thanks a lot.
Have a nice day. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Now it's the time to conclude this session. I think we can move on.
Yes, Manpreet, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.